Comfort feels nice, but it's a trap. Every single day, millions of people quietly trade their potential for a little convenience. They choose what's easy, what's familiar, what feels safe. And in the process, they surrender the very spark that could have turned their lives into something extraordinary. They tell themselves they're just being smart, that they're avoiding unnecessary risks, that the timing isn't right yet. But beneath all the justifications lies one truth most never want to face. Playing it safe doesn't protect you. It slowly kills your ambition. Comfort doesn't announce its price up front. It charges interest over time. It gives you a false sense of security while silently draining your hunger, your drive, and your edge. And if you're not careful, it will turn your life into a predictable loop. Safe, familiar, and painfully average. Until one day you wake up and realize you've been sleepwalking through the very life you were meant to build. Most people think comfort is harmless, like a couch you rest on after a long day. But comfort isn't neutral. It's a subtle force that conditions you to stay exactly where you are. Your brain evolved to avoid discomfort because for thousands of years, discomfort meant danger. It meant injury, starvation, or death. But in the modern world, discomfort isn't a predator lurking in the dark. It's the friction that shapes growth. The awkwardness of learning a new skill, the uncertainty of taking a risk, the discipline of pushing your limits. Every time you choose the comfortable path, you're reinforcing a pattern that teaches your brain, avoid the hard stuff, stay small, stay safe. Over time, this conditioning doesn't just affect your choices, it rewires your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who leans into challenges, and instead become someone who backs away from them. Comfort isn't a harmless pit stop. It's quicksand, silent, slow, and difficult to escape once it takes hold. Comfort doesn't destroy ambition with one big moment. It erodes it quietly, decision by decision. You skip the workout because you're tired. You delay the idea because the timing isn't right. You stay in the stable but unfulfilling job because change feels uncertain. Each of these choices feels harmless in isolation. But ambition isn't lost through one dramatic failure. It atrophies like an unused muscle. The less you challenge yourself, the less capable you feel, and soon the discomfort that once stretched you becomes something you actively avoid. You stop dreaming boldly because bold dreams require bold actions, and bold actions don't fit inside the comfort zone. Slowly, your mind starts settling for good enough. Days turn into months, and months into years, and without realizing it, the fire that once made you restless and hungry turns into glowing embers. Comfort doesn't announce that it's killing your drive. It just waits patiently as you hand over your edge, one small compromise at a time. One of the most dangerous things about comfort is that it rarely announces itself honestly. It doesn't say, "I'm keeping you small." Instead, it disguises itself as logic, responsibility, or caution. You tell yourself it's not the right time to start that business. You convince yourself you need to save more money before taking the leap. You wait for the perfect plan before making your move. On the surface, these sound smart. They sound reasonable. But often they're just sophisticated excuses your mind creates to avoid discomfort. Your brain becomes a skilled lawyer, defending your inaction with perfectly rational arguments. Meanwhile, someone else with less experience but more courage takes the shot you were too busy overthinking. In the real world, it's rarely the most prepared who win. It's the ones who act despite not having every detail figured out. Comfort hides behind strategy, planning, and perfectionism. But its real purpose is simple: to keep you safe, still, and stuck. It numbs you. It slowly sedates your urgency, dulling the sharp edges of your ambition until you stop noticing their absence. Modern comfort comes wrapped in screens, food, endless entertainment, and distraction. Binge watching a series every night feels harmless. Scrolling endlessly through social media feels like taking a break. Indulging in constant convenience feels like treating yourself. But beneath the surface, something subtle but dangerous is happening. Your standards are lowering. You start tolerating mediocrity because it's easier than confronting discomfort. You lose the hunger that once pushed you forward. Days blur together, filled with soft habits that give temporary pleasure but no lasting fulfillment. You become mentally full, but spiritually starving. Comfort creates a haze, not painful enough to alarm you, but just pleasant enough to keep you asleep. And the longer you stay in that haze, the harder it becomes to remember what real drive actually felt like. The true cost of comfort isn't the opportunities you miss in the moment. It's the life you'll never build because you kept playing it safe. It's the alternate version of you, the one who took the leap, embraced the discomfort, failed forward, and grew into someone extraordinary that you'll never get to meet. Regret doesn't hit you like a car crash. It creeps in like a quiet echo years down the line. It shows up in your 40s, 60s, or on your deathbed whispering, "You could have been more." Comfort promises you safety, but what it really delivers is a slow, quiet surrender of your potential. One day you'll look back and realize that the pain you tried to avoid by playing it safe was nothing compared to the pain of wondering what might have happened if you'd just gone for it. Regret is expensive, and comfort collects its payment later, when it's too late to buy the life you truly wanted. Here's the truth most people avoid. Greatness doesn't live inside your comfort zone. It lives in the places you resist. Every meaningful transformation happens on the other side of discomfort. When you choose to wake up earlier instead of hitting snooze, when you speak up despite fear, when you take calculated risks instead of waiting for certainty, you're doing more than just an action. You're reshaping your identity. Each moment of discomfort you lean into sends a signal to your brain. I'm the kind of person who grows. Over time, this rewiring compounds. What once felt unbearable becomes your new baseline. Your capacity expands. Discomfort isn't something to run from. It's the gym where your character is built. Just like lifting heavier weights breaks muscles to make them stronger, leaning into challenges breaks old limitations so new strength can emerge. The people you admire aren't fearless. They're fluent in discomfort. That's their edge. Take a moment and look at your life with brutal honesty. Where have you chosen comfort over growth? Which opportunities have you delayed because they made you uneasy? Growth doesn't demand that you overhaul everything overnight. It demands that you make a different choice today. Start choosing challenge deliberately. Lean into the conversations you've been avoiding. Take the first step toward the idea you've been sitting on. Push your limits in small but consistent ways. Because every time you do, you're not just moving forward, you're raising the ceiling of what's possible for you. The price of comfort is invisible at first. It hides behind easy routines, predictable days, and quiet rationalizations. But eventually that bill comes due, and it's always paid in regret. You can either keep playing it safe and stay exactly where you are, or you can embrace discomfort and unlock the version of you that comfort will never let you become. Legacy or regret. In the end, the path is yours to walk. The choice is yours, so choose wisely.